What is good, everybody? This is Show Your Stripes. We're doing a bit of a kind of like a 0.5 episode, emergency episode, whatever you want to call it today, because good God, that game today was. That's all I can
Horrendous.
call it. It was awful.
It was, I mean, the last inning just hurt to physically watch. Like, it was so hard to just sit there and watch that. I can't imagine the people at that game actually today and having to sit through that.
Yeah, the attendance was significantly down compared to last night, because I know we talked about it on last night's pod that the Tigers were able to put up, I think it was 40,101 people last night. And today's total, according to the MLB website here, it was 18,395 people. And I'm thinking to myself, those people deserve refunds for what they watched today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before we get into it, the biggest thing that it shows is like this game was our 15th shutout of the season, which just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, we look at it, and I know we said it before, but like there was only 9 shutouts last year for the whole season, and today was number 15. So that
And I
just
don't think many people are talking about it, and as much as they should be. Like
no,
usually when we do get shut out, um, they usually bring it up. Um,
yeah.
but
I mean,
but today they didn't really bring it up much.
I do have to say we have gone a while, I think, without getting shut out compared to how I know like last month in June, I feel like we just were continually getting shut out like once a week. So I mean, I feel like it's been a few weeks, but either way, it's just showing that our offense is still like doing nothing.
I mean, compared to yesterday, they put up 9, and go to today where they only were able to muster 3 measly hits, and all of them were completely useless. There were 2 of them were doubles, but the other one was a completely garbage single. And yeah, Riley Green had one of the doubles. Cody Clemens had the other, and the other was a single by Harold Castro. And I mean, it just shows you, I guess, like all the lineups don't necessarily work. I mean, because like a lot of the guys who played today did not play in yesterday's game. Like for example, you had Cody Clemens in the lineup, Tucker Barnhart, and Akil Baddoo, and I think Baddoo played yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But um, those other two, Clemens and Barnhart, did not play in yesterday's game, and it showed.
Certainly. I mean, we had, I mean, there, I know Clemens was at first today, which I know he's played a few times this season, not a lot, but I know he did have a few good picks today. But I mean, defensive wise, they were doing pretty well, but offensively, there was just nothing going on with any of them.
Yeah, the Tigers only had only 6 base runners, it looks like, because you have no walks. Yeah, you had no walks. It's 6 men left on, or 6 left on base opportunities. So I guess it was just the three hits. The
Two
three
game,
basemen.
2 games this series against the Rays, we have had no walks.
Which is pathetic. And I mean, I understand that like there's teams that want to be aggressive, but if you strike out 9 times and not have a single walk to complement it, it just shows you're not like you're not being patient at the plate up there.
Yeah, I know we talked about that a lot yesterday. So, but it obviously shows. It really does.
The Tigers pitching staff, the first 2 people were decent, obviously, and we'll get into the other 2 people later in their respective time. But Matt Manning started today in his second game back, and he was probably the best I've seen him all season, if not maybe the best start I've seen him in, period. He went
It was
7 innings of no-run baseball, shutout baseball, and allowed only 4 hits. Struck out 7 and walked 3.
pretty sure that was a career high strikeout for him too. Like he looked good today. I did enjoy watching him pitch, because with him being gone for so long this season, I definitely was iffy about him coming back and how it was going to go. But today, I mean, he really showed up and was looking really good out there. So that's just what makes this loss, I think, even worse, is that like he threw such a good start to just end it so terribly, just ruins it.
Yeah, it was a completely wasted pitching performance because obviously not having an offense is one thing, but losing it the way they did makes you feel even worse for Matt Manning. And like I said, we'll get into that. It's to what happened in the ninth in a minute here. But and I was forgetting to mention Alex Lang then came in the eighth, and struck out one, had a perfect eighth inning. And I'm just gonna look here because I don't exactly know when the Tigers' hits were. Let's see. Uh, Tigers did not. They had a fielding error. Akil Badu got on a fielding error, and he got caught at second base. So the first three innings were retired in order. And then bottom of the fourth, Riley Green had the leadoff double, which we never scored because we do that kind of thing. It'll lead off man in scoring position, and we can't score him. And then Cody Clemens had the double in the bottom of the fifth. And the only other hit the Tigers had was the Harold Castro single in the bottom of the seventh inning. So it was absolutely pitiful in terms of the offensive performance they had today.
Just compared to yesterday, like we're back to the two different teams, like just two different offenses. Yesterday we were looking like decent, and then today there's just nothing.
Like, did they put something in the water yesterday when they drank it and it made them hit the ball?
I don't know.
Because if I knew that they were gonna get embarrassed the way they did today, I probably wouldn't have been as optimistic after yesterday's game.
No, apparently we just need Lou to be at every game. I don't know what it is, but
I've seen my fair share of bad games before. I mean, I was at that game last year when the Tigers, I think, were up 9-1 against the Angels and ended up losing 14-9. I remember
yeah,
that game like it was yesterday, and I legitimately went nuts after that game. I want to see if I can find it here, just because I want to kind of refine my works here, because I was at that game, and I legitimately wanted to pull my hair out after watching it. Yeah, we were. Yep.
that is
August 13th, 2021. Tigers lose 13-10 after leading uh 10-2 after 5 innings.
that's insane. I mean, I can't even imagine being at that game.
And I know I'm kind of getting off track here, but the lineup is not much different than what we have now. I'm looking at it here, of the guys who played in that game, let's see. 6 of them are on the active roster currently. You got Jonathan. It was Robbie Grossman played left field that day. Jonathan Scope was in first base. Candelario at third base. Miguel Cabrera was the DH. Daz Cameron was in center field. Willie Castro was at second base. Zach Short was at shortstop. Victor Reyes was in right field, and Dustin Garneau was catching that day. And the game was just so bad. I mean,
Starting to feel like August is just not our month
it
for
never has been.
baseball. I mean,
It,
you were telling me about that one tweet, if you want to say it, because that
um,
is just with
oh yeah, there was one stat that I just saw. That's why we were talking about it. That I ended up seeing that was so ridiculous. I couldn't believe it when I read it. This coming from Stats by Stats. They capitalized the second one. The Rays were tied 0-0 with 2 outs in the ninth inning today and scored 7 runs. They are the first team in the modern era to break a 0-0 tie in the ninth inning or later to score 7 or more runs, all with 2 outs.
I just have no words at all.
I think we
I
can go
mean,
ahead with just that, kind of go into the main part of what happened today.
yeah,
So, what happened was they brought on Gregory Soto to pitch the ninth inning in a tie game, which, quite honestly, I'm not sure why they did that. I mean, I know he probably should have gotten some work yesterday, considering the game didn't get out of hand until very late. But that didn't really make much sense as to bringing him in that scenario.
still, I
And
feel like the fans know more than like the coaches at this point about not to bring Soto in when we have this kind of situation. I
and I
mean,
know I know AJ trusts him, but like you gotta like look at his lines when he pitches in games like this when there's nothing on the line. I know he does well in some scenarios, but he'll shit the bed a lot with guys on, but then but when he doesn't shit the bed with runners on, it's in spectacular fashion.
so it's a very, I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, that's why I feel like I get such bad, like, I know I get so stressed out when I know he's coming in to pitch. So, I mean, lately too, we were just talking that he's been doing like actually decent lately. So, I mean, him going in and being able to get those first two outs, I really thought, honestly, we were going to be okay. I was very wrong, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna look back here, look at his game logs. I don't even remember the last time Soto had an outing like the one he had today. It was well, the last time he allowed an earned run was actually not until July 7th, believe it or not. So it had been a while, but he
Yeah.
hadn't. This is easily his worst outing of the season because prior to today's game, he had not had a game where he allowed more than 3 runs, I should say. And I had the misfortune of being at that game. It was that game on June 16th where he came in, complained about the mound being out of
Oh,
order,
yes.
and then he proceeded to put up a 3-run spot, and the Rangers ended up winning that game. And it ballooned
No,
his ERA at the time from 1.96 to 3.
dang. That's crazy. And then I mean, and then you go in today. I mean, does it show what his ERA is now with his 5 earned runs from today?
Coming into today, his ERA was 2.13. It did, and today's outing alone ballooned it to 3.26.
Damn. That's crazy.
So I'll kind of go ahead and say what happened because it seemed to me that there was everything, all hell broke loose once the top of the ninth came around. Obviously, I'll give Soto the credit; he did get the first 2 outs, but he didn't get it easily. He had the ground out by Yandy Diaz. I'm sorry, he had the pop out by Roman Quinn. Then Isak hit a single that got the lead run on. Then Christian Bethencourt lined out. That had the 2 outs. And then this is when it gets ridiculous. You've got Francisco Mejia doubling to put runners on second and third. And then fucking Soto decides to walk the next 3 goddamn batters, loading him up the first guy and then forcing in 2 goddamn runs. I
I
mean,
thought I thought that was the worst of it too, which just like I was like honestly, I was expecting us to fall behind by a run or two going into this ninth inning with Soto pitching. So let's just say it blew my mind a little bit after this.
like I know that Soto has trouble with his command, but like when you walk through, I mean, he probably should have been pulled after even the first guy he walked or the second. I got no idea why he was left in there after he walked 2 in a row.
Yeah, once that first run came in, I feel like they should have taken him out. But
And and it was easily the most walks he's allowed this season, which is kind of hard to believe when you look at how wild he's been. He prior to today, the most walks he allowed in an outing was 2, and he did that twice.
Yeah, not to mention him hitting pitchers or hitting players as well.
Yeah,
But I mean, I know they don't count those as walks.
it should
So
be counted as in the whip batting or in that. But like if I pull it up here, I think he's hit like it seemed to be like 7 batters or something like that.
I feel like you said, I feel like you've told me, I think it was like 8 at like the last time
Yeah,
he hit the
I think
two.
it was 8. Yeah, I think it is 8 still.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of that as well. But either way, he has not allowed that many walks in a game this season yet. So,
But yeah, so after he walked the 3 batters, it made it 2-0. Um, AJ finally comes to get him, and I believe he pitched. Let's see, I think it was 22 pitches. I think.
either 22 or 26, something like that.
Yeah, it was. Let's see.
26.
Yes, 26 pitches, and then he got pulled, and Jason Foley came in to a pitch and try and get the final out in the top of the ninth, which I thought he could do that, and we'd have a 2-0 deficit go to the bottom of the ninth. Which I mean, yeah, I would have been upset about it because I would assume they probably wouldn't have won anyway. But like, what proceeded to happen after that just made me even more angry.
Certainly.
Um, you got you got Brandon Lau. Then I believe I might have been on the first pitch even. I'm not quite sure, but singled up the middle that scored 2 more, made it 4-0. And then Randy Arozarena doubled that brought in 2 more. And Roman Quinn then singled, brought in a Rosarina. And then the inning finally ended when Isak got caught looking on strikes.
Yeah, that inning was forever long. It just did not end.
Like I'd like to see if somebody like timed that inning just to see how long it was. Like like my God, it literally felt like it took like 30 minutes to end that inning.
Oh, I'm pretty sure because I was like driving and listening to it, and I drove like 25 minutes, and the game was still going when I got to where I was at. So that inning just went on forever. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, 45 pitches were needed to end that inning combined, and it was
That's in,
absolutely ridiculous that the inning had to last that long, especially considering you already had the 2 outs and then everything just hit the fan.
like literally Manning what had 95 pitches today, so literally about half of his pitches today would have been what it took to get out of the last inning.
So let's look at the fun stuff. Let's see. Gregory Soto's line today went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, 5 runs, all were earned, walked 3, struck out none, and they obviously would take the loss. It's his 6th of the season, which I like. A lot of those are blown saves. I have a gut feeling. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see here. Um, it's the first time that he has taken a loss. Let's see. This is taking a second because I gotta pull up his game logs. I gotta refresh the page. Sorry. All right, game logs. Here we go. It was the first time that he took a loss since uh, July 26th against the Padres, which is the one where he went and stayed in an extra innings, and all those runs were unearned.
So I mean, he was charged with the 5 earned runs today, which is fair because it really like the one game where he didn't get charged with it.
His botching an error to back him up this time. This was
Yeah,
all on him.
yeah, completely. I mean, we did manage to get through. I believe we managed to get through this game without another error. So I mean, we're going on 3 games without an error. So I guess that's something.
I mean,
Which is
it's a win in my book, to be honest.
yeah, I do agree with that.
And then you have Jason Foley that came in to clean up the diarrhea, in which that really didn't help because he allowed the 3 hits that Soto didn't allow. And although he only allowed 2 runs charged against him, it feel like it should have been higher because of the amount of hard contact he allowed. He faced 4 batters and only was able to retire one of them. It was absolutely disgusting. Just the bullpen just decided to take a day off or something.
Which just sucks because of how well we did yesterday. Like, I really was holding on to the optimism of yesterday up until the 9th inning, because even when the ninth first started and then we got the first 2 outs, I really did think there was going to be a chance here. Or honestly, I was kind of expecting us to go into a 10th inning
Yeah,
before all of the runs started to come in.
yeah, I thought so too. I felt like the game was either going to end like with a 1-0 score or something like that, or it was going to go into extra innings. But no, it just decided to end right then and there. And it's always fun. I always want to mention this because it was interesting. After all that occurred in the bottom of the ninth, there was a fan who came down behind home plate with the final batter up, which was Javi Baez, and came up and unfolded a sign that said "Sell the team, Chris," and then just immediately ran away. And I thought that really summed up the game, at least to me,
Yeah, definitely. I
because
mean, there's,
you know,
I mean, there's, I don't even know. There's not even, I mean, it's just, this game, I guess, was just very on par for how this team has been. And I know we say that a lot, but like, it's just so ridiculous, but yet also feels completely like something that we would do.
yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, like this team just finds new ways to just make me upset, even though I feel like I'm not being upset anymore because I know I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be happy or sad because I know the season's gonna be over at this point. But like, it just felt way worse than it ended up being.
I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes in our next series, but
And
definitely was a rough one today.
yeah, and like I said yesterday, I had a feeling that right before the game today, we would know what the schedules were gonna be for the series this weekend or this week. There's an off day tomorrow, which I'm gonna be honest, I needed that for like my own mental health. Like I couldn't like if I especially after a game like today, I needed a day off. Like my God.
Yes, it will be nice to have. I mean, they more than like, I feel everyone needs it. They do, we do. Everyone just needs an off day.
And I feel like it's the first time we've had an off day in a hot minute. Like let me look here.
Yeah,
And
they've been going for a while, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it's the first time the Tigers have had an off day since July 22nd, which was that travel day between the Oakland's doubleheader and the Twins series.
Yeah.
So
So
it's been a while.
hopefully the day will get them rested and we can go back to at least having some sort of offense. Not saying it has to be like what we were doing yesterday, but some more than 3 hits would be nice.
Yeah. So the schedule, or at least the pitching matchups, you were released this morning, as I thought they would be. I just gotta pull them up here. You got Tuesday, the first game of that 3-game set in Detroit against the Guardians. You have Shane Bieber for the Guardians against Tyler Alexander, which Bieber is 6-6 with a 3.39 ERA, which I've noted he has shown signs of a decline this season. So I'm not sure if that really means much of anything. And then you have Alexander going, I think this will be like his 10th start or something like that. And he is 2-5 with a 4.04 ERA. So you can really it's really a wash in terms of who's going to pitch in that one or win in that one. And then Wednesday, the game we've always been hyping up and talking about going to, We got the best. I'm gonna be honest, like from a sicko's perspective, like myself, in terms of bad pitching, this is like the best pitching matchup you can get in terms of bad pitchers. You've got Aaron Savale and his 6.17 ERA and a 2-5 record going up against Drew Goddamn Hutchison, who is 1-5 with a 4.37 ERA. Which that ought to be for like I said, from a sicko's perspective, I love that.
It should be an interesting one, that's for sure.
I just hope we can actually hit off of Savale, unlike last time we faced him, which if I can pull it up here, I could have sworn we got only one run off of him.
Knowing us though, like it's gonna be like a no-hit game for like most of the game on Wednesday. Like that just would not surprise me if that was to happen.
And the last time we played faced Savale was on May 20th, and he took the win. He went 6 1/3, allowed only 3 hits and 1 run, which was unearned. Walked 1 and struck out 3, and that was when he had a 7.84 ERA with an 0-3 and an 0-3 record. So we have one of only his 2 wins on the season. So I'm hoping that we can actually get hits off of him this time, because opponents are hitting a comfortable 2. Let's see. They're hitting. I'm sorry. It's just over the last 15 games, he's allowed 37 earned runs, and 64 hits. So I'm hoping he can actually give us something to work with.
And hopefully Hutchison will. I mean, it hasn't been necessarily horrible lately, so I guess we'll see how that goes with him.
And this will be Savale's first start since July 13th after he went on the injured list with a right wrist injury. So hopefully we can actually do something this time. And I mean, as much as I'd like offense, I'd like to see a game where it's offense against offense.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it'd be cool to see that, especially considering whatever content we decide to make down there. I'm not sure what that'll be. If you guys have any ideas, just throw it at us. But and then obviously Thursday, the finale of that series, you've got Dan Plesac, who has not been good. To be honest, he has not been nearly as good as I thought he was going to be this year. He is 2-10 with a 4.49 ERA against it says TBD here, but it is going to be Bo Brisky after coming off the injured list. So they're going to have to replace him on the active roster with somebody.
Very ready for him to be back. I'm very interested to see how his start goes. I know that they said I think they'll be maxing him at 5 innings. So we'll see how that. I mean, but before he went on the IL, I mean, he was really picking up there. So hopefully he can get back into that same groove that he was going in.
Yeah, I mean, and then we hit the road again, which will always be interesting. We have to play 7 on the road starting this Friday. We got 3 against the White Sox in Chicago, and then 4 against the Guardians, because one of those games is a makeup of one of the games I was supposed to go to that got rained out in Cleveland, which unfortunately I probably will not be able to go to that. But yeah. I think that just about wraps it up for this one. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. I think it was just good to get a little bit of a rant out because today's game was just a rough one.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we will have another full episode whenever. Hopefully, maybe we'll do one after that 3-game set against Cleveland. And we'll have some content for you for that one. So thanks for listening.